if you look at the video, you get a pretty good overview, a good sense of what took place, because there is pretty decent video footage of what took place. And you do see Kyle Rittenhouse, the accused in the case, and he is, armed with a rifle, and he appears to be running away from a man who's chasing him. It's very clear that he's not the aggressor in the situation. He's running away. The man is chasing him. The man throws something at him. The man gets close enough to basically touch him, and that's when Rittenhouse fires. The really significant thing I think that people really had a problem with is that this was an unarmed man, and Rittenhouse was armed, right? And he also brought the rifle to the situation. And
The
Rittenhouse,
first man that he
the
shot
first man that he
was
shot,
unarmed.
right? And that's what sort of set off the whole chain of events. But this was an unarmed man who was, I think anyone would agree he was the aggressor in the situation, and it's really came down to a question of whether it was reasonable to use deadly force in that situation to stop this unarmed man. I don't want to sort of weigh in and give my opinion either, because we have very different laws here, and we have different outcomes, I think, for cases like this. It's really an American case, subject to really Wisconsin law.
Yeah,
And
so that's one of the things I wanted to talk about. This show is called Canadian Justice, so we don't need
yeah,
to parse the details of what happened in an American case. But can you give a broad sense of how self-defense laws work in Canada?
sure. So, boiled down to the essentials, everybody has a right to protect themselves. I mean, that's a very basic notion. I think everybody understands that. Even small school children, on a playground, understand this concept. And what the law basically says, the law reflects that, and it basically says that if a person reasonably fears that they're under attack, then they can use force to repel that attack to protect themselves. Um, so if you have a good reason to fear for your safety, you can protect yourself. Now, there are limitations, there are nuances. It's not, quite that simple, obviously, and we probably don't have time to go into all the nuance on a segment like this. But in terms of claiming self-defense, the way it works is essentially if a person is charged with a crime, like an assault or a homicide, like they've shot somebody and they've killed somebody, if the evidence in their trial reveals that self-defense might be an issue, that they might have been protecting themselves, it's automatically raised. They don't actually have to fill out a form or check a box and say, I'm claiming self-defense here. If the evidence reveals that, then it's automatically an issue, and the Crown Attorney, the prosecutor, has to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that they weren't acting in self-defense in order to secure a conviction. And if the Crown can't do that, then the person's entitled to a complete acquittal. So it's going to be a very binary result, either complete acquittal or self-defense claim fails and you're guilty of the offense.
And there are different parts of what is required to make up a self-defense claim. When we come back from this commercial break, I want you to explain what it takes to make out a successful claim for self-defense, what the elements are. We will be right back after this commercial break.